Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Tuesday. Tuesday is request day, but before we do anything requests, I have got two bits of news for you. First of all, Flowscape. If you want to win a copy of Flowscape, that is now over on BonBonB 2, the new channel. There's not much over there yet, but do go over, subscribe, there'll be lots to chase, and a copy of Flowscape to be won. Also, if you are a fan of Terrain Party, the terraform height map grabbing software, it hasn't been working for a while. It is working at the time of recording this. Feel free to go and grab that, but don't all go at the same time. We don't want to crash the software now, do we? Do we? Okay then. Right, okay. Sorted that one out. Okay, today's map request map. I do believe it was the creator that requested this one. We have done them once in the past, back in episode 640, where they got 7 stars. Let's see if we can't beat that today. But before we do any beating, well, you can beat something. You could go and beat that like button to death if you really want to. That's right, hitting the like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people, helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Let's get to that 10k. Today's map is Isle Saint Pierre, or Isle Saint Peter, by M4341. The previous map was Gotland, which is the island sort of just off the coast of Sweden. I say just off the coast, probably a little bit off the coast. There's your start square, pretty much what you want, I guess. Roads and water, and there's your height map. It's slightly lumpy, today's map, based on the real life location, although the water flow etc is a little bit of a work of fiction. Oil, ore and fertile land is as you see it. Off to the workshop. It is apparently a 100% vanilla map, or is it? I love it when I get to do that. It's vanilla temperate theme, the realistic 1.2 LUT. A little bit of reading there if you like. This explains that it is kind of like, well, just a hint of the real life location going on. There are no exterior outside road connections, well, not to this part of the map anyway, but what we do have are harbours in place, so you don't have to save up and buy them. They are already in place for when you need to start building. I guess that adds to the gameplay potential, so all credit for that. They are powered and watered as well, although you will need to put in something for your garbage, because there's going to be a lot of garbage. Now, see these little clusters of plants down here, these clusters of weeds, I think they're called, or something similar to that. That is off of the workshop. That is by Delmo. It is a requirement, although it's not going to be game breaking if you don't have it. It's a very lovely little asset. They're not terrain conforming though, so if you put them on steep hills like this, it's going to be very hard for me to show you. I'm probably going to pop up and down, and got blue mantle because of camera angles and stuff. Yeah, there you go. But you can see it's kind of hovering a little bit. Oh, come on. It's kind of hovering a little bit. Can you see that? Yeah, just a bit. So yeah, not terrain conforming. Don't put them on steep slopes. But nice asset. Should be in the requirements list. It looks like there's a lot of other things missing from the requirements list by the sparsity of the trees. I have checked the loading screen mod. The only thing that's missing are those clusters. We have the freight terminal right here, and we're in start square territory here now, so I guess we should probably do one of these. Or in this case, 4 of these. These are the Sydney Terraces 2 by Robert, obviously based in Sydney, Aussie Australia. And it's a great little set, and if you've got the building variations mod, then they'll mix themselves up nicely as well, so I'd subscribe to that also. Right, factoids, because factoids. On today's date, the November the 12th, in 1956, the largest iceberg known in the world was discovered in the South Pacific Ocean. It was bigger than Belgium. How did they know for sure? They didn't have satellites back then. I can't see them, walking up and down this iceberg with a tape measure. But anyway, yes, there you go. Icebergs, global warming, even back then. Sydney Terraces 2 by Robert, today's asset of the day. And I think we'll head back down the dirt track from whence we came. Bye-bye, Terraces. Bye-bye, Robert. It's been nice knowing you. And we'll head back down the way we came. There's no outside connections on this island. I say on this island because we've got a little bit more to explore. I don't think it's intended to be built on the other bit that's going to be explored. But yeah, past all these clusters of weeds and then all the vanilla trees. And we've got power lines because there's stuff up here that needs to be connected. So we'll follow this. Now I'm going to be honest and true. Okay, it's not a pretty map, but there's little stuff going on here, little bits of stuff that almost go, well, almost without saying normally. But on a map like this, you'd normally expect this road to be really lumpy bumpy. And yet, if you have a look at the road, it's relatively smooth considering the terrain. Yes, we haven't got any cuttings or anything like that. But you'll see in a minute, we've got like an elevated section kind of here, an embanked section, I guess, really, rather than elevated. And here as well, like this little... so we have some smoothing of the roads going in that could have been massively overlooked. And I know a lot of people that watch the show are very quick to jump on, oh, that was rubbish. That was... Not entirely. Not entirely. Yes, this map does leave a little bit to be desired. We've got water pumping down here. We'll look more at the water pumping in the second half of the show. But yes, it's easy to be highly critical, but we've got to consider the things that you don't really think about that actually this creator has actually put into the map. Like the water here, which isn't flooding. Then we've got trees which aren't on the road, and this nice S bends nicely up to the higher areas up here. But then up here we do have some rocks that are on the road, and you might say, well, they're small. Well, not really. That's the size of about 2 cars, that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag that one off. I'm not going to move any of the others. I'm just going to move that one because there are a few more up here. Don't mind this one. This one's kind of there you go. This one's kind of off of the road, but there you got one there as well. And one over here also. So yeah, mind a bit of detailing issue going on there. Also, we've got a droopy car melting in the heat. The ice cream car, possibly. Yeah, minor bits of detailing issue, but not so bad. Then up here we do have like a Second World War fortification. I think that's quite a nice looking thing, probably based on the real life thing as well. Intermission time. Let's go and have a break.
Do you have trouble knowing how to start a new city? Do you need to return to the absolute basics just this once? Don't worry, I won't tell. Then you need BonBonB's Beginner's Guide to Your First City. Click the information button now.
And so shipping routes at Isle Saint Pierre by M4341. We've got shipping routes and they don't do anything stupid. In fact, we even have this nice little triangular thing that splits them, stops them from doing stupid angles as well. If we follow this one off the edge of the map, it's all fine. You'll be relying on shipping quite a lot for this map, I would suggest. Water flow. Now, we already have water things in place, and they're at the opposite ends of the island from each other. So, pumping out there, and pumping in here. So, I think you're going to be okay. I think that will be alright, probably. On top of that, and let's have a look at the map as a whole, this is the right shape for the map, and I don't mind this at all. Your main build, city build in real life is there, in that flat area there, so that's all good as well. And then this is a real life island as well. I did look it up, forgotten its name. But this, well, this is part of Newfoundland, the peninsula of the southern part of Newfoundland. Now, it's not realistic, and between here and Newfoundland there are some islands like the Green Island and the Small Green Islands or something it's called like that. And this doesn't look anything like the peninsula. It's just flat. I think it's just been added for gameplay purposes. These are connected to the outside of the map, obviously. And it's a bit of a mishmash. It's a bit of a vanilla players my first map kind of vibe to it. And it just adds, I guess, a little bit to the playability. If you're not going to be building over there, the only thing is for me, if you're building over here and doing a detailer's build, which you could do, all that stuff is going to be actually within sight, and it's going to be ugly in the background. But anyway, one thing I am missing over here, I don't mind this little bit of fictional water flow. I don't mind that, just adds a little bit of interest. But I would like to see more foliage down here. I would like to see an awful lot of more foliage down here. I've had a look again at Google Earth and there does seem to be quite a lot of tree coverage. It's not bad here. We've got a reasonable coverage, reasonable density of trees here. It's not outstanding, but it's okay. And then the terrain, I don't mind it being a bit rough and ready as well. I don't mind that at all. But it's just the tree coverage is just a bit light and a bit stingy. Let me use the tree brush here. Just choosing some vanilla trees. I'm just going to add some density around the wet areas just to add a little bit more variety. Again, I'm only adding 2 of the vanilla trees here. The tree with leaves 1 and tree with leaves 2, would you believe? And then just work with the terrain, adding a little bit of the extra greenery in certain areas of the terrain and just flushing it out a little bit. Now, I'm not doing the entire map. I'm just spending a few moments brushing over 1 or 2 areas just to show how much better it can look with just a little bit more tree coverage. Okay, I could spend about half an hour adding trees to this map, but compare that area that I've just added to with this area over here, which is just a little bit bland. And I think that's a polite word for it. Anyways, what do you think of this map? Do you think it's a 1-star map? Do you think it's a 5-star map? Or is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. And I'm having trouble deciding what would be a good screenshot, because there isn't really one specific area on the map which is aesthetically, well, pleasing enough to be a thumbnail. But I'm going to go with this. Okay, aesthetically, yeah. It could be uglier. I know you're saying it's ugly. I know it's not an attractive looking map. It could be a lot worse, so it's going to get 2 stars for aesthetics. Detailing, there's nothing horrendous about it, but I can't really sell it to a 3rd star either. There are things that could be tweaked, and I'm ignoring the build off on the edge of the map on that peninsula with this. I'm going to give it a middly high 2 stars. Stuff to be fixed. Gameplay, I'm going to be generous. I want to be generous, okay? A lot of thought has gone into making this map playable, and there's nothing to say that it wouldn't be playable. I was thinking high 3 or low 4. Because I'm feeling generous, I'm going to go low 4 today for this one. So 8 stars in total for Isle Saint Pierre by M4341. Yeah, just don't be so liberal with your trees. Just splash them out. They don't cost anything. As long as you stay within the tree limit, it's fine. And that's like $250,000. Just go for it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. Don't forget Flowscape over on BonBonB2, the new channel. You can win yourself a free copy of the game just by answering 1 question in the comments. And of course, old map on the screen now. We're back tomorrow with another map in the Flowscape series, the What Map series. I don't even know what game we're playing.